The hosts feel it would be a little unkind to present this podcast without just a word of friendly warning. We are about to unfold the story of Frankenstein, a man of science who sought to create a man after his own image without reckoning upon God. It is one of the strangest tales ever told. It deals with the two great mysteries of creation, life and death. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance to. Well, we've warned you. Hello, and welcome once again to the Frankencast. I'm the mad scientist, Anthony Bowman. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm joined as always by...
Your AI-driven sexbot that is Eric Velasquez. My pronouns are also you.
You had to, right?
That was it. What other options did I have, really, you know?
Right. Yeah,
so we're talking about Companion this week.
Yeah. This one, I've been, several people have been, checking in with us, are you guys going to do this? And I was like, yeah, we definitely want to do this. And I'd been holding out this whole time to watch it for this. And, I was really, really impressed with this movie. Yeah,
we have a stacked cast. So do we want to go through those real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we have Sophie Thatcher playing Iris, effectively the main character. Jack Quaid, who's literally in everything, I think, at this point. Is there not a movie he's in right now? Maybe Mickey 17, but I'm not sure about that. He might be in the background on that one.
Yeah, he is really blown up. I guess, was the Scream, was that what really, I know he's been around before that, but it felt like once he did that was when he was just everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like Scream basically put him onto the map. Like you said, he's been on the periphery, but that showed his actual acting talent if you haven't seen The Boys.
Yeah.
He's good in The Boys. I would say he is the best Quaid. Randy's nuts. Dennis... He's pretty close to Harvey, his character in The Substance, but not exactly. He's far enough removed from that, but...
Yeah, we have a lot of villainous Quaids lately and stuff we've done.
Texas will do that to you, man. They got some... I guess it's the brainworms that Kennedy's been putting in the water recently. I don't know. Let's start that crackpot theory.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. From there, we also have Lucas Gage, who, I feel like doing more and more, or it seems that way. He was in, Euphoria, the Roadhouse remake. I feel like he's got a lot more stuff coming up.
He was in Smile 2, which I really liked.
Yes.
Yes. I think I liked Smile 2 better than the first Smile, actually.
I think a lot of people did. I think the first one was just miserable. It was good, but miserable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously his star's also on the rise. Megan Suri. Yeah, gotta love Megan Suri. She's fun. She does a good character. What all she been in? Obviously this. Never Have I Ever. It Lives Inside. Yes. Poker Face. Have you seen any of those?
Yes, yeah. Poker Face. I really, really liked Poker Face, but yeah, I've seen it live inside. And she was in the Missing movie too, wasn't she? But I think she was just something kind of minor in that, one of the friends or something.
Oh yeah, was she the friend or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have Harvey, the guy who I look like, Harvey Guillen. If you've ever seen What They Do in the Shadows, the TV show, the picture of him as a kid. Wow. That, I could have been his twin at the time, I'm just telling you. Which is scary, but, that's not scary. He's a handsome guy. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Sergey. Rupert Friend Sergey. He's fun.
Yeah. Like you said, this is just everybody in this is somebody that I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen him in this and this and this. Even the
technician. What's his name? Matt McCarthy.
Yeah, and the cop, like, he's been in a couple other things.
Mark Menchaca.
Yeah, like I don't know, like he's been in like some comedies and stuff. He always just kind of plays a weird, creepy guy. Because, Sick, I think might be the main thing I remember him from.
Ozark, the TV show, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Listen, all I'm saying is, if we ever make a Chuck Norris biopic, which we shouldn't do, or if we do it, it should be more like the Weird Al biopic, where it's just a big meme the whole time. This guy could probably play Chuck Norris in his prime.
Yeah,
at least that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
All right, but that's enough for casting. I don't think Teddy is kind of a newer face, I feel like.
He's like a comedian. I know he was really big on Twitter for a while. Like he just had like a really funny Twitter account, but I think he mostly like writes for stuff more than like acting and things. But it sounds like maybe he's moving to in front of the camera now.
Yeah, and Woody Fu as Mateo, the the sales guy, basically. This is such a good bit. I don't want to get rid of too much or reveal too much if you haven't seen it. Spoilers will abound for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you've listened to us, we go through all the plot, we get into all the spoilers. But this movie particularly, it feels like we should warn you because this movie really is heavy
kind of
on
pivots.
Twists and like kind of not like M. Night Shyamalan type twists, like
No.
Nothing that's trying to just like really hit you out of left field, but it does kind of keep building and like pivoting. It's
telling you the twist. It tells you the twists along the way, and then you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But once again, if you haven't seen it, stop right now. Go see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it is available on streaming and stuff now. It's pretty easy to track down. So yeah, you should definitely see this.
Yeah. Now we're gonna start with some instrumental strumming and like humming. What is the song, Anthony? Do you know it?
No, I wasn't. I did not even catch it.
Okay. Let me look up the exact name of it. I feel like because they keep going back to this song. Is this "Give Me Some More"? Is that it? Yeah, "Give Me Some More" is kind of the song that they keep going back to by Labi Cifra.
Okay. Yeah, it is like sort of like a central motif, like musically for sure.
Yeah. All right, so we get the narrator talking about how this is a thick black, you have a thick black cloud covering everything. And you don't know you're really awake. You're just kind of going through the paces, right? Something that everybody can understand.
Yeah, it's very much about like that we're all just kind of bumbling through the world. We don't really know why we're here, what we're here for. We don't have a sense of purpose. We just kind of are existing. But that's okay because we all have that moment where like the cloud parts for a few minutes, and you see through everything. You find your place in the universe. You make this connection, and you may only get one of those in your lifetime. But because you're so used to the rest of your life, like you really get to experience this moment, and it makes it really powerful and special.
Right. But it hangs there for a second, and then we get the meet cute between Iris and Josh, where he knocks over a bunch of oranges, and they laugh about it, like normal people, right? Like humans do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she adds, if you're lucky, you get one of these moments in your life, but I got two: the day I met Josh and the day I killed him. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, no. So we know, this is Chekhov's murder, right? Mm-hmm. She's going to kill the guy. And then we get a wonderful, like, just real short kind of group of, like, credits. But it has little dots of blood here and there, which I thought was it's like very
touch.
Pretty pink and everything. But then, there's just a few little blood splatters on each card.
Right. And then we get Iris waking up in a car, and she tells Josh, hey, I just had a dream about you. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I hope it was a sexy dream. Because every guy likes to hear that.
Yeah, and she's like, no, but it was the day we met, and that memory is very special to me. So it was a nice dream.
Right, and of course the road. Hey, why is the road not showing up on the GPS? That's weird.
Yeah,
it's because it's a massive driveway.
Yeah, they're like way out in the middle of nowhere, and they've been driving up a driveway for a while. They get to this house, and this is his friend Kat has invited them away to this house for the weekend, and he was like, she said it was like a quaint little cabin
in the woods. Yeah,
yeah, and it is
like
none of those things.
No, I mean it is in the woods, kind of, but more on the lake. It's a lake house.
Yeah,
it's a really fancy lake house. But I do like how Iris is like, as they stop, thank the car. And he's like, thanks, Josh says, thanks, car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have like, of course, it's like not super futuristic. It's just like a little bit ahead of us, so this is like an AI type car.
Right. It's when we actually get the self-driving cars that kind of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Instead of just after crash.
Yeah. And so as they're like getting out, like Iris says something about that she worries that Josh's friend Kat doesn't like her, and he's like,
no, he hates everyone though.
Yeah,
she hates everyone.
Yeah, she's just kind of that's Kat. Like it's nothing against you, and he tells her like just be yourself, smile, all that. Everything was gonna go great. So it's like
right, but she has a little anxiety attack here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's clear like these are Josh's friends they're going to stay with, and Iris doesn't have that connection with them yet.
Right. And of course, whenever they open the door, Kat is like, hey, Josh. And he's kind of like, you have to address Iris as well, please. Yeah,
she's definitely just kind of ignoring her, kind of bitchy to her. They go inside where they meet like the rest of the friends.
Eli.
We have Patrick and Eli.
Eli's drunk. And he's a really huggy guy.
Yeah, he's just, so Patrick and Eli are a couple, and then we also meet Kat's new boyfriend, Sergey,
who is a bemulleted Russian man. Mm-hmm. And he immediately gives Iris fuck me eyes.
Yes, yeah, they're really playing up that he's like just a creepy dude.
Right.
And so Iris says, well, I want to take a shower after the drive, so I'm going to go to the room. You guys, have fun or whatever.
Right.
And
all the while she's humming that song.
Mm-hmm. And when we do get, as she's like unpacking the suitcase, like the camera just kind of like stays over the suitcase, and we just see her like taking things out. And there's like something like she lifts up like a stack of clothes, and there's a shirt, and on top of it is a little silver rectangle. And the music kind of gets ominous for a second, like we should be worried about this.
And we should, to be fair.
Yeah. And then we just cut to her in the shower, or I think getting out of the shower. We don't get like this is not a shower scene kind of movie.
Yeah. She's talking to herself though. As she's getting out. She's like, all right, remember to smile, act naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's repeating all these things that Josh told her. Like she's trying to kind of psych herself up to like get ready to be around all these people. But
how sinister is it that like people have made smiling a anxiety-inducing thing for women?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's such a it becomes like. I mean, we'll find more out about Josh as we go, but like this is genuine good advice. Like you're gonna be in a place with new people. Like just try to smile, just try to be natural. This is good advice, but like the way that it's become sort of a dog whistle for men to tell women to smile. That like that you can't say it genuinely. It just comes off as bad no matter what. And,
right. Well, like Harvey and the Substance, like I was talking about earlier, pretty girls should always smile.
Mm-hmm. Yes. But she, it seems here she's kind of, of course, she has that relationship with Josh. So like she's taking what he's saying, and not like, taking offense.
It's not necessarily negative right now.
Yeah. So after like the scene with her in the mirror, we just cut to like everybody at dinner later, and we had Josh and Iris' sort of meet cute starting the film, and now we have Patrick telling the story of how he and Eli met, which is equally cute.
Yeah, but it's also very, I don't know if believable is it, but the fact that Patrick is like a Dracula and Eli's dressed up as a dinosaur, and they meet by Patrick standing on Eli's tail.
Yeah.
Saying he's the most beautiful man I've ever met. Or ever seen.
It's very cute. And then Iris starts talking to Patrick and is like, when did you know Eli was the one? And he's like, yeah, right away. As soon as I saw him, I just knew. And she was like, yeah, me too. Like, there's just something special about that feeling of when you just find your other half and you can just tell that, like, they are going to complete you in the world. And
she describes it as you were broken and you never knew it, but until then, and then now you're fixed, and you'll do anything to make them happy.
Yeah,
which that's a human thing. It happens.
Yeah, and there's something about the rest of the table just kind of gets quiet. Like, sometimes you kind of like, I don't know. I do this a lot where it's like I accidentally misjudge how much somebody wants to hear, and I overshare something, and then suddenly I'm like, oh no, I don't know how long I've been talking, but everybody else is quiet, and I feel like I've made a mistake, and you kind of get that sense from her where she's like, oops, I talked too much, I went too far.
But everyone's like, yeah, that's fine. And then Sergey's like, hey, Pat, thanks for cooking food, it was great.
And so then we kind of have like everybody sort of like separate out into little groups. We have some of the guys go into the kitchen. Sergey is talking about his line of work, which he's really vague about, but like
ominous too. I have my hand in many pies. My hands, they are not clean. Okay. Probably killed some people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like it's not hard here to make the leap that he is like, in some sort of like Russian organized crime or something.
Right. I don't know why else you would say it like that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see that Kat is talking to Iris, which is a change of pace. Like Kat didn't seem to want anything to do with her.
Right.
And she says basically, Sergey is married. So Kat is like his mistress or something.
Right. But Iris is like, well, you love him though, right?
And she's like, I mean, he's kind of fun to be around, but like I'm just an accessory to him. I don't think he really thinks of me as a girlfriend or any, like, he just likes dragging me around to things.
Well, she also says something very interesting. You have to think of me as a human first. And then, I'm an accessory to him.
Yeah.
Which, that's a thing. I mean, it is.
Yeah, and then she says, I'm telling this to you.
Look who I'm talking to.
Yeah. Iris is like, well, yeah, you can tell me anything, but I thought you didn't like me. And Kat's like, no, I don't dislike you. I dislike
the idea of you.
Yeah, the idea of you. You make me feel replaceable. And Iris is like, no, you're not. You're not replaceable. Like you're really important in these people's lives. Everybody cares about you. Like you couldn't be replaced.
Maybe I'm built different, is what she says. But what is it? I just feel like sometimes something's holding me back. Like, do you guys get it? By the way, has everyone figured it out? Like they beat you over the head with it at this point. If you haven't, We'll I guess we'll let the cat out of the bag when we really get there. But
yeah. Like I feel like this. I mean, if you've even seen the trailers and stuff, you kind of know. But like, I think this being held off as a twist works because then there's so many more after it that like at first you're paying it. It's like a magic trick where like they're going to reveal this, so you keep staring at it, and then you don't see all of the other things that are happening around it.
Exactly, and also to be fair, they also don't wait too long to reveal this one.
Yeah.
But before we get to that twist particularly, we're going to have a gay dance party, at least between Pat and Eli. After they make everyone else join in, it just becomes a dance party.
Yeah. Everybody's having a good time. They're just like all dancing around the living room. But then we do see at some point, they're all just kind of like, they're not dancing with each other particularly, but at some point Josh kind of migrates across the floor towards Kat. And Iris sees it and gets a little jealous and like goes and kind of pulls him away, like, come with me.
Then we have a great cut between like that and Jack Quaid's O-face.
This felt like a sort of similar parallel to Dennis in The Substance, where like we get some really unpleasant close-ups of him. So like, yeah, we're getting a POV from Iris's view as Josh is coming, and it's like, yeah, it's unpleasant. Like, it's definitely not. And like, then we see her, and she does not look like she just had a good time. Like, she looks kind of bored.
Well, she wants to have a conversation. She wants to talk to him, and he's just like, "All right, I'm going to bed now."
She keeps asks him a couple questions, and she's like, "I'm really glad I came on the trip. Thanks for bringing me." And yeah, he's like, "Nah, I just want to sleep," and he just like rolls over.
Well, he literally says, "Iris, go to sleep." Mm-hmm. Which that is actually an important phrase.
Yes. And then, yeah, it's like it just keeps giving us little breadcrumbs. So then the next thing we see is the morning. Josh is getting ready, and he's like, "Hey, Iris, what's the weather?" And she like tells him exactly the weather, you know, like
72 degrees with an 83% chance of rain.
Mm-hmm. And he's like,
never gets old.
Yeah. So again, I mean, they're really kind of making sure that you're getting this before they actually tell you.
Right. I guess we might as well say it. She's a sex bot, effectively. I mean, she's an emotional support bot that does sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She is the companion of the title. And we kind of hinted at this last week. I mean, it's in some ways seems very similar to the Megan Fox subservience, but is very different in some other ways.
Very different. Everything that Megan Fox was not justified in doing, Miss Thatcher is justified.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, yeah. And she's like, "So we're going to go down to the lake, right?" And he's like, I drank a lot last night. I'm not feeling great. I just want to kind of lay around and deal with that. I want to have some coffee and relax and stuff." And she's like, "Well, I could stay with you." And he's like, "No, you wanted to see the lake and everything. You should go out and enjoy the weather. Like, get out. It's fine. I'll be okay."
He's doing everything but literally pushing her out the door. Mm-hmm. And then she does leave, but he grabs that stick from earlier and shoves it into his phone.
Yep, we see that now. It's a flash drive, and yeah, so he's got it plugged into his phone. He's doing something. She walks down to the lake, and there's like two beach chairs, and she's like just kind of standing there looking out at the lake, and she sticks her hands in her pockets and pulls out, "Oh, there's a pocket knife," and she kind of looks like, "Oh, I didn't know that was there, or I forgot it was there, or something." Right. And then Sergey walks up. He sits down in one of the beach chairs, and she's just kind of like standing there. And he says something to her in Russian.
Yeah, I think it's good morning, but I didn't write down exactly what it was. But basically, then she's like, "Oh wait, there's a person there," and she hides the knife in her pocket again. Mm-hmm. And she responds almost like the way he responded, like in her voice, but in his tone and cadence. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "You're Russian. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I always like that.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna head back to the house and check in on Josh." And he's like,
like, "Hey, stick around. Let's drink some vodka together, you and me."
Yeah, you like that you're here at this beach house, right? Like, you should sit down. Like he's coercing her, like, you want to be here, right? So be here.
Keep this old Russian man company. And the guy's maybe 35.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Okay, fine." But it just right away, like, you can tell.
He's making it uncomfortable.
Yeah, he gives her suntan lotion and wants her to rub it on his back and shoulders.
Yeah, because that's what you do to a friend's girlfriend, right? That's safe? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, as she's doing that, he grabs her hand, and she kind of tries to pull away. And he's like, "Nah, don't worry. Kat gave me permission. This is what you do, right? This is what you are for."
This is what you're for. That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on, yeah. Most people would think that. Exactly.
Yeah. And we get from her, she says, "Please stop." Like, she is very clearly saying, "I do not consent to anything." And we cut away from that back to the rest of the friends who are just all hanging out, telling stories, having a good time.
Well, then Iris immediately shows up, but she's got red on her, like all over her.
Yep, she's just holding that pocket knife and just head to toe splattered with blood.
I love Eli's like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, and she's like, I didn't mean to. He forced himself on me.
Yeah, and we get the scene basically where he tries to essay her. She smacks him with a bottle. It looks like he dies from hitting his head on the rock. He isn't dead. Starts trying to choke her, and yep, she stabs him with that knife.
Yeah, and she's telling Josh, like Josh has asked her. She's telling him, but we're seeing the actual scene play out. But then
the worst thought was that they would take me away from you. Yeah, like, him hurting me is one thing, but like never seeing you again, that would have been too much. Obviously, everyone's freaking the fuck out. Josh walks up to her and says, "Iris, go to sleep."
Mm-hmm.
And we cut away from her. That's weird.
Yeah. So we, like, right as he says it, her eyes go like white, and then like you said, we cut away to her waking up, and she's now
tied down.
Yeah, tied to a chair. Patrick's like getting all the knots tied, and Eli comes in the room and he's like, "Kat's okay. She's sleeping. I gave her some Xanax."
Good old Xanny bars. You got
one. And so like Eli and Josh are kind of like taking charge here about like what needs to be done. Josh is like, "You go call the cops. I'll take care of what needs to be done in here. I just want to say goodbye one more time before I do everything."
Right. Aw, that's kind of sweet, but it's not really. We know what's up. But anyway, she's like, "I didn't mean to kill him. I didn't mean to kill Sergey." He's like, "No, I know. You didn't. Yeah, you can't lie to me. For sure."
Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah, I would never lie to you." And he's like, "No, I mean, you can't. You're programmed. It's in your programming. You can't lie to me." And she's like,
mean?
"Programming? What do you mean?"
Your emotional support robot. A robot that fucks.
Yeah. He said, like, I hate the term fuckbot because you do so much more than that.
Right, but mostly that's what he uses her for, right?
Yeah, and she doesn't.
And she's like, "No, that's not true. I'm a human." He's like, "Iris, tell me the weather," and then she recites it again, but in a more monotone voice. And he's like, "See, there you go." And she's like, "Well, fuck, I'm a robot."
Yeah, and he like to really seal the deal, he pulls out his phone and there's like an app that he can control things, and he changes what language she's speaking, and she like just starts speaking in different languages and is like very confused. And she's like, "But what? I have memories. I know when we met." And he's like, that's also all programmed in. I chose from a drop down list of a couple different meet cutes.
Literally calls them meet cutes. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Do you really want to know how we met?" And I swear to God, Anthony, I had to stop the movie because I laughed for a solid minute here. He is literally playing Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls as they wheel her in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought that was really good.
Like, what Iris hurt you? I want to say Jack, but it's Josh. Like, that has to be it, right? He's still hung up on an old girlfriend.
It seems that way, yeah. So yeah, their actual meeting was, of course, some delivery guys bringing her to Josh's apartment along with like a rack of clothing, her whole like Barbie wardrobe basically. And we have like the one like main delivery guy sits down with Josh and gives him like all the the rules and all the different important setup stuff he needs to know about having this bot.
Effectively, everything is customizable. However, you can raise the intelligence up to a certain level, but because of government regulation, which I don't see that ever happening. Government regulation? What are you talking about? Anyway, there's a certain maximum on how intelligent she could be.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Ivy League graduate is it, and that's pretty intelligent, sure.
Yeah,
but also they're stunting the computer's growth, I guess.
Yeah, and he has him establish the love link. He has to sync her up to his phone, to that app that we saw.
Face pattern recognition.
Mm-hmm.
That's from your iPhone. That's what it is, or Google phone, or whatever Android you have.
Yeah,
Google phone. Does anyone have a Google phone anymore? Actually.
Yeah,
I feel like I've just aged myself by saying that. Okay. Yes.
And the final thing is we have she's like talking like a robot, and it's like bring your face within certain number of feet
3 feet.
or whatever. And then at the last of it, still robotic, she says, "Love link established," and then suddenly like she just becomes human, and it's just like, "Hey, you."
Yeah. Hey, what do you want to do? Well,
Yeah.
Well, I just got you. Or I mean, we've been dating for a while, so.
Yeah, so we immediately cut to, like, the camera is outside of Josh's bedroom and the door is closed, and we just hear them having sex on the other side of the door.
And currently she's like, no, I feel things. What, I have actual emotions. He's like, no, it's just programming. Like, I take you in to be serviced. Those tears, they're not real. They're just water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they refill your tear reservoir every time that I take you in.
That's so, I hate that. I hate that, Anthony.
Yeah.
I hate that it's so real.
Yeah, and he's like, I know this must be a lot to process, and he kind of smiles at, like, his little computer joke.
He's so clever.
So I like, because, like we've been kind of saying, like, either you already know or you figure out pretty quickly that she is, a companion bot.
Yeah.
But then the real twist comes right after it, which is that she doesn't know that,
Right.
which I thought was really fun. Now she finally kind of accepts that this is, the truth. And she's like, okay, so maybe I'm not a real person, but I'm still your girlfriend. Like, let's go home. Let's just be done with all this.
I just want to make you happy.
And he's like,
solid.
That can't happen. I mean, you killed a guy. And then Kat bursts in and is like, what the fuck are you doing, Josh? I thought you were going to shut her down.
Shut her down. Yeah, so we could decommission her or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then Iris realizes, like, oh, okay, no, this is going somewhere differently.
Right. There's another twist coming.
Mm-hmm. Kat leaves again, or Josh follows Kat out.
Yeah, Iris spots the pocket knife laying on the floor, and she's like, I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have Kat and Josh arguing in the next room.
I love that he's like, you seriously took the Xanax? And she's like, it's a Xanax. What the fuck am I not gonna not take it?
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, just turn her off. Like, we got to move on. And Josh is like, she deserves our respect. I mean, considering what she did for us. And Kat's like, respect. She's a robot. We don't respect her. Like,
she's a piece of plastic. Yeah.
And he's like, I know. I need to say goodbye. And she's like, this is like saying goodbye to the sock you jerk off into. And, he insists, like, no, she's more than just that.
But hey, think about it this way. The plan went perfectly. He says as he jumps up and down like a little kid. Yeah.
So we're already getting hints that, like, there's more going on than than the twists we've already had. And yeah, we see Iris, like, doing everything she can to, like, bounce over towards where the knife is and everything.
Yeah.
And in the other room, Josh is like, just give me a few minutes. I'm going to go say goodbye to her. Then I will wipe her hard drive. I'll shut her off. And then we can just chill and have some champagne while we wait for the cops to get here.
Right. And then it's all smooth sailing from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he comes inside, sees that she's on her side by where the knife would be. Mm-hmm. And he's like, we got to stop this. And as he nears her, she punches him in the throat.
Yep. Yeah.
She's like, I'm so sorry, but I've got to do this.
So she gets his phone away from her, like, starts.
Well, as Kat comes in, she's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and Iris is like, so he's gonna have some soreness, some muscle pain. Like, just give him some ice, everything will be fine. And she just takes off.
That's adorable. I love it.
Yeah, and then we cut to just outside where Eli is sitting and he's talking to the police on the phone. And he's like, yeah, we've got it all under control here. She's tied down. Everything's okay, but we do need assistance out here as soon as possible. And we see Iris in the background walking out the door and leaving, and Eli just does not see or notice at all.
Yeah, but Patrick's kind of like, there she goes.
Yeah. So then we just have a little later Josh talking to Eli, and he's like telling Eli everything that's happened. He was like,
right.
Yeah, he shows the flash drive and he's like, it's a mod, I gave her a little push to kill Sergey.
You fucking did what?
Yeah, Eli is like, what the fuck? Why'd you drag us into this? And he's like, let
me show you.
Yeah. So we need to get her wiped before the cops come, or they're gonna know, and then we're all fucked.
Right.
But yeah,
what do you mean? No, what?
Yeah, so
basically he's pulling them in further into the plot. He's like, the reason why we're doing this is because Sergei had a safe with a shit ton of money inside of it.
$12 million.
And the code to the safe is Stalin's birthday. That's very stereotypical. Like,
yeah.
Why would he do that? I wonder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Eli's like, so you just brought us here to just like be alibis? And he's like, yeah, basically. But now you're all in, so like, we could split the money. Like, you know, you just got to help us find Iris, get everything wiped, and then we'll split the money.
4 ways, right? Eli's like, no, 4 ways, because there's 2 of us and 2 of you.
And yeah, Josh is like, no, just the 3.
Just the 3.
And so then Eli suddenly is like, Patrick, go to sleep. And then Patrick
is the fuckbot too?
Yeah. So, and as soon as Patrick goes to sleep, Eli's like, what the fuck, man? You're blowing up my spot here. Like, you can't talk about Patrick doesn't know either. Like, you can't tell him that.
Right.
And, you know, Josh is like, that's all fine or whatever, but like, he's not a person. He doesn't get a cut of this.
Well, now we know how Josh really feels. He's not a person. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he's like, I did all of the work. You're just going to get money for just being here. Like, I orchestrated a murder, which is fucking hard.
Right. And then Eli's like, fine, but I call dibs on the gun. I want that fucking gun.
Yeah, and Josh is like, we just need to get close enough to reboot her. There shouldn't be a gun necessary.
However, she stole your phone. She has the passcode. Your jailbroken phone. She's out there in the woods somewhere. I'm taking the fucking gun.
Yeah.
Good job, Eli. Good on you, buddy.
Yeah, so Eli wakes up Patrick and is like, it's time to go robot hunting.
Yeah, hey, baby, it's time to go robot hunting.
Yeah. So then we see, you know, in the woods, Iris is messing with Josh's phone. And this is great. Like, we get
a cue because Kat's like, what can she do with your phone? Cut to Iris fucking around on the phone.
Yeah, and at first she changes her eye color to all sorts of different colors. She starts fucking with the register of her voice.
Yeah, the pitch.
Yeah.
And then she finds something very insulting that Josh has done to her.
She finds that intelligence slider, which Josh has set to 40%.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
By the way, what kind of intelligence? Because I also saw pathfinding on there. So, like, what intelligence is this? Just cognitive ability?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, you know, it's hard to say what count. You know, it's like the D&D thing of what's intelligence, what's wisdom.
Right.
But with this, like, it
doesn't matter. She cranks that shit up to 11.
Yeah, as she should. Like, which, I mean, I think it says a lot about, like, that this is an option. You can choose how dumb you want your girlfriend to be.
Well,
and that Josh is like, yeah, I want her to be, like, below average intelligence. I think that really speaks to what kind of person Josh is, for sure.
Also, though, I've met below, well, I'll say I've met below average intelligence. She's far above that, like, from the get-go. So either the programmers have no respect for humans, which that scans too.
Yeah, she seems very perceptive right from the get-go. But right. Yeah, like, of course now, you know, she's at full capacity, so yeah, we're going to see a whole new side of Iris.
Possibly above full capacity since she's now jailbroken.
Yeah,
so what's her level at? Yeah,
that's true. So then we have all the friends kind of searching the woods looking for Iris, and they're like, "Don't you have like a Find My Bot tracker?" And Josh is like, "Yeah, it's on my phone."
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, and Kat and Josh are kind of fighting about it, and Eli's like, "Oh fuck, you guys are fucking." Like this is a people who fuck argument.
And Kat denies it. She's like, gross, and Josh is like,
they both do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe it is gross on her part, and it's less so on his. Maybe he's more like, yeah, I'm going along with it so I don't look bad.
Yeah. So then we have Iris again. She's talking to herself. She's planning an escape, but like
she goes through all the scenarios.
Yeah, we get to really see how this intelligence works, where she's like, okay, So what if I hitchhike and then we just see what that would play out as? She's covered
Somebody
in blood.
just goes past. Yeah, they just go past her like, look at this crazy person. Okay, fine. What if I just walk home? Mm-hmm. Well, Josh is obviously going to get there first, and then we see her open the door, and he goes, "Welcome home, Beep Boop." Like that's his nickname for her is Beep Boop. What an asshole! And then he just shoots her in the head.
Yeah. I guess this is the first time we'll get him calling her this from here on out. But it's like, what a wild thing to nickname your girlfriend if she is a robot and doesn't know it.
Well, like even if you're playing around, you're calling someone a robot. That's not great.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
Yeah. So then her last thought is, what if she gets back to the house? To the lake house and steals Josh's car.
Right. I love this because as soon as she does it, the car's like, "That was a terrific plan, Iris." And she's like, "Thank you, Josh's car."
Yeah.
Well, we stand robot camaraderie here.
Right. But as she heads that direction, she hears Eli and Patrick coming, so she has to like duck behind a tree. And we get this conversation between Eli and Patrick. And like Eli feels kind of betrayed that like Josh did all this shit and like didn't loop us in, like he made all these changes to Iris's programming.
Right.
And I wonder what how he would feel if I had like changed your programming without telling him. I mean, if you were a robot, of course. Right. And
yeah. Like if I was a robot is what Patrick's like. Would you change my programming if I was a robot?
Yeah. And Eli's like, of course not. And Patrick's like, I know I'm a robot. Like, I figured it out a while ago. And Eli's like, but you told our meet cute story. Like, you can't, you're not allowed to lie. And he's like, well, it's not a lie to me. That's my
real.
memories.
We actually get to see the meet cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, we got Josh and Iris's at the beginning, but when we had theirs, it was just kind of like them talking. But now we see it. And it is, it's adorable. They're at a Halloween party, and I think
Patrick's
showing it
carrots.
now is like, this is real to me. Like, I have this memory.
And it also talks about the whole subjective nature of experience, right? Mm-hmm. What's real, what's not. Well, if it's real to you, it might as well be real.
Yeah. And so when they come back from it, Eli's like, I love you. Like, I know you're a robot, so that may sound like a crazy thing to say now, but it's true. I still love you. I have, I actually, saying, like, that's not a thing I just say to you because you're a robot and you don't know. Now that all the cards are on the table, I'm still saying it. It's still true. And I would never.
I would actually believe that Eli does love Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah, it feels certainly more genuine than Josh's connection to Iris.
Yeah. When Eli asks Patrick how to explain how it feels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says it's like a violent but calming like reaction. And that's fair, I guess. I didn't experience it that way, but for some people I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm cold and heartless.
Yeah, he says like it because he's talking about the feeling of being loved, and says it's like the inside of your body being on fire. It's angry and violent and bright. And
for me, it's calming. I don't know if that says anything. Just calms me down.
Yeah, I think there is this sort of like romanticized thing about like this like passion that's intense, and you fight and you make up and all that. Like, and I don't think that's necessary. I mean, maybe there are relationships that work that way and it's good. But I think there are a lot of
they last long.
Yeah, I think they burn out. I don't think that's the ideal relationship. But of course, here Patrick's a robot. Like, maybe it's just very different for them. But yeah, I'm with you that I think you're better off finding someone that makes you calm and feel safe and at peace, rather than.
I need someone whose demons interact calmly with my own.
Yeah. But so while they're kind of like wrapping up this conversation, they kiss, and then we hear a phone buzz, and it is Josh's phone is getting a call, and Iris is like panicking, trying to shut it off really quickly.
Right. Eli's like, "Come on, Iris, come on out."
Mm-hmm. And so Iris starts running, and Eli does fire the gun, And it's great because, like, clearly Eli
They've never fired a gun before.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, fuck, that was loud, shit.
Yep.
So,
it typically is.
Yeah. So they start chasing after her, and of course, we now know Patrick is also a robot, so if they have, like, fast, run speed or anything like that, like, he's able to keep up with her. But eventually, Patrick kind of routs her, and Eli crashes into her, and
he tackles her.
Yeah, they go rolling down a hill, and kind of, he's got the gun, it gets knocked away from him, they're wrestling, trying to get to it first.
Right, and of course, the shot goes off. However, we immediately see the blood coming out of Eli's back, as he's the one on top. So he got shot. Yeah. And I hate this, though. Like, I almost feel like really Eli would be like, listen, we're on your side. you do what you got to do, Iris.
Yeah, I feel like after them having this conversation, I mean, I guess it's, money motivated or whatever, but it does feel like it would have been nicer if Eli, like, realized, like, okay, I'm going to treat Patrick like a person, so I should also treat Eli like or Iris like a person.
Like a person, yeah. But I guess maybe we don't have a story, or maybe Eli gets killed in a different way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's here nor there. We didn't make this movie, so it's not our place, right?
Yeah, but so we do see that, I guess we do have to have Eli out of the picture, and having Iris do it kind of helps with stuff that's coming up, because of course Patrick sees this happen. He's just kind of like stunned, just like frozen.
Yeah, and of course Josh is like, hey, Iris, go to sleep.
She like starts running, and Josh is like yelling for her to go to sleep, but like I don't know if she's taking control where that can't happen now, or she's just out of earshot enough. But she does not go to sleep, and she manages to get to his car, and rushes in, slams the door. Like, he tries to shove his hand in there, she like smashes his fingers in the door.
That's so painful.
And she's got his phone and thinks that will help her like power up the car, but no,
this isn't like her memory or her idea.
It has it requires like voice ID print. So she's saying, like, drive home, and it's like, voice not recognized. And she smartly, like, pulls the phone out and starts fucking with that voice modulator again.
Right. And Jack, whatever, something with a J, is like, oh, shit, she's going to modulate her voice to sound like me.
Mm-hmm. And it takes a while. He starts trying to smash the windows, but she eventually does get it. And the car starts and goes driving off, running over Josh's foot as it goes.
Hear a nice crunch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so then he kind of like, stumbles inside. He finds Sergei's phone.
Right. Maybe he can turn off the car, but he has to get Sergei's phone. Mm-hmm. But it's like, okay, what's the password? It's Stalin's birthday. Yeah,
but so Kat earlier was like, yeah, I know the password. It's Stalin's birthday, and she just typed in a number.
It's for everything, yeah.
Yeah, and then so Josh is like, oh, fuck, what is Stalin's birthday? I don't actually know it.
Okay, this is funny, because that's something you would normally look up on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have his.
Yeah, but thankfully, Sergei, he actually really, really is interested in Stalin, so he's got, like, books on his shelf about Stalin. And so Josh pulls one down, starts flipping through it. And then we cut away from that to Iris in the car as the car starts slowing down and talks to her and says, this vehicle has been reported stolen and is shutting down.
Oh, no. And, of course, she's panicking, as she should. She's like, fuck.
Yeah. And, she tries to do the voice thing again, but it's not going to listen to her.
Well, he calls her at this moment. He's like, hey, I'm really sorry, Beep-boop. Please come back home.
Mm-hmm.
We can get this sorted.
Yeah, we can go home and live happily ever after and all this.
We'll pin everything on Patrick. Patrick is a bot that went crazy. I'll be a better boyfriend to you.
Mm-hmm. He says that, I still love you. Do you still love me? And she says she does, but she can't go back. She's like,
you programmed me to murder a dude. You don't really come back from that.
Mm-hmm. She's like, yeah, and then she just says like all of the most generic breakup things. She's like,
I feel like we're on different paths.
Yeah, you're a great guy, but this just isn't working. It's not you, it's me. And then she hangs up on him.
Are you fucking breaking up with me? What?
So Josh runs back out into the yard and he sees Patrick and he's like, "Go! You gotta track her down." But he's still just kind of like in a fugue state. He's just like holding Eli. And
all right, well, we'll jailbreak your ass. Let's reset, baby.
Yep. So Josh takes Eli's phone, uses uses Eli's face to get it to unlock, and he turns Patrick up to full aggression, and is like, "All right, go get her." And Patrick's still just frozen.
Well, he resets him and he does the "Hey you" after he creates a new love link.
Yeah, we do the whole thing over again because I guess we didn't mention specifically, but like there's a spot behind their ear that your thumbprint will reboot them, and so he takes Eli's hand and puts it behind Patrick's ear.
And during the reboot sequence, basically Eli is fully replaced with Josh. Yeah,
we see that same meet cute at the Halloween party, but now Josh is in the dinosaur costume instead, and then back at the car, Iris has managed to kick a window out and is like climbing out of the car, and
immediately as a cop goes by.
So he stops and jumps out, and she's like, "Oh fuck!" She's still covered in blood. She just kicked a window out of a car, and she knows the car was just reported stolen.
Right.
So she pulls the phone out really quickly and types something, and then the cop comes up and he starts asking her questions, and she responds in German, and we have subtitles underneath. And this whole bit is just played for comedy. It's really good. Where like she'll be saying things like, "I can't lie, but you can't understand German, so I can confess all the stuff that I have to, and you won't know what I'm saying. So this is what I'm gonna do."
And he's like, "Oh shit, fuck."
Yeah, it works.
Do speak in English.
But eventually, over the course of it, he is able to get little bits from her, which is that she came from Sergei's house, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know Sergei. Why don't you hop in my car? I'll take you back to his house." And she's like, "Nine, no, yeah."
But he sees the knife.
Yeah, he sees the knife on the passenger seat and is like, "Oh shit."
Right, but as he's doing that, she sees Patrick walking up the road. She's like, "Scheiße, shit."
Yeah. And Patrick is just like, he looks like the Terminator, he's just like determined, just moving with robotic force and precision. And of course she's trying to warn him, but it's too late. And Patrick just grabs the cop and just
German.
So while Patrick is beating the cop to death, Iris starts to run away.
God bless her.
But then Patrick grabs Josh's phone that she dropped. And
deactivate.
Yep, shuts her off.
She drops right there.
Yeah. So then we go back to the house where Kat is having some more Xanax and some wine.
Well, is it wine or vodka? I feel like it's vodka.
It might be. Yeah.
Because I feel like she's really trying to take herself out at this point.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
And then she sees out the window a cop car coming up the driveway, and she's like, "Oh fuck,
shit."
They assume, they don't have Iris, they don't have Patrick, this isn't good. But nope, the car door opens and Patrick steps out, and then he drags Iris, and they're like, "Oh, okay, good. Why do you have a cop car? Where's the cop?" And he's like, "Oh, he's in the trunk."
Right, and the dead body's in the trunk. And they're like, "Oh, great." And Kat's just like, "I'm done. Peace. This is too much. We've officially hit too much.
Too many deaths." But Josh is like, "Yeah, but Sergei had it coming. It's fine." And she's like,
"Yeah, surprise."
Twist number, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever. Sergei is not a Russian mobster. He gets his hands dirty because he's a sod salesman.
That's why. Big sod.
Yep.
And also, he was just a shitty person. He was a bad boyfriend. Sure, why not? He was a gross dude. Why not?
Yeah.
But also, to die for that?
Right, yeah.
Maybe if you cared, you'd just be like, "Hey, man, stop being an asshole."
Yeah. So Kat's like, "Well, so I'm out. This is all you now." And Josh is like, "Okay, so you're just another woman, just quick to abandon me.
Full incel. Bam, let's go."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by this point, it's pretty obvious, what kind of dude Josh is. And, as she starts
like, "Hey,
walking
Patrick,
out,
stop her."
Well, at first he says, "Cat, stop," and she's like, "I'm not your robot. I don't have to listen to you." And then he says, "Patrick, stop her," and Patrick does, but he has a knife and he
aggression's at
her.
100 still. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's rough, bro.
Yeah, and Patrick's like, "You told me to stop her. I stopped her." So Kat just kind of like sits down on the floor, bleeding out.
Well, she's like berating him. She's like, "Oh, that's just great. Good job, Josh."
Yeah. And she just kind of like sits next to Iris, and we get this great moment. Like, so she's like bleeding out, and she kind of like looks up, kind of like she's perceiving something, and she just says, "It's gonna rain," which I think is sort of echoing the Iris can tell the weather. We all have a little bit of that, but we're not all robots.
Well, it's not only that, but she is replaceable because Iris tells the weather better. It's just it's going to rain. Whereas Iris is like, no, here's the temperature and the likelihood of the precipitation. Yeah.
So then we cut to a little later. Patrick is cooking dinner for Josh, and he's just sitting at the table. And at the other end of the table is Iris, who's she's asleep, and then she kind of like wakes, or Josh says, "Yeah, wake up," and she does, and she sees that she's handcuffed to this chair.
Right, and she's kind of like, "Hey, that's pretty cool what you did there. You really, really wanted to live. That's wild."
Yeah, but you think your life is worth more than Eli's, more than Kat's,
right? Or Kat's? And she throws it back on him. She's like, "No, you did this. All these deaths are on you, buddy, because you wanted the money."
Yeah, and he goes full, just incel at this point, and he's like, "You don't get to judge me. The world is rigged against people like me. I'm a nice guy. I'm decent."
Yeah. Oh God, he's a nice guy, TM. No, I don't even own you.
Yeah,
that's gross to begin with.
Yeah, he's renting her.
I deserve more than this. Yeah.
And
I like how she gets him back.
He says, "You know me. You know I deserve more than this." And she's like, "Yeah, I do know you. I know your flaws. I know you like to prattle on about how much the world owes you.
I know all of your hobbies, prattling on. You need control over everyone around you, and you have a smaller than average size penis." Like, ooh, we got him. We got him there.
Yeah.
He's like, "You know what? I'm done with this shit. Int 0.
Yeah. And he's like, you said you know what pain feels like. Why don't we test that?
Now we're going to go to what was in all the previews. Like this was, everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on with this?"
Yeah, so he takes, there's candles lit on the table. He puts one close to her, and he commands her to put her hand in the fire, and she can't stop. So, and she's like, he says, "Do you feel that?" And she's like, "Yes." And then his phone rings, and he's like, "Hang on, I got to take that. You stay right where you are." And
we didn't mention that Patrick used this really fancy bottle opener to open a bottle of champagne for him.
Yes, yeah.
That does become important.
Yeah, I think we see Eli use it early in the film, and then Patrick uses it right now. It's this really high-tech, electric vacuum pumped thing that just
I could definitely use one of those for sure. Not for any weird reason, for opening bottles, you sickos. Anyway. But we zoom in on that. It's going to be important.
Yeah, so then while he's away answering this phone call, she's just sitting there with her hand in the fire, and her arm catches on fire.
It's so wild. And
Josh is talking to the robot company. They're like
Empathic.
Yeah, and they're going to be arriving in about 30 minutes. And he's like, "Yeah, I've got her under control."
She went crazy. She shot herself.
So he comes back in. He has Patrick put out her arm fire. Then he hands her the gun and says, "Shoot yourself." And she says no, but she does it anyway.
Well, she resists for one heartbeat. So she's already doing something more than she should have been able to do.
Yeah, but she can't resist hard enough. So she puts it to her temple, fires. We see
it's wild. You see the light, as the bullet's traveling through the skull, her eyes light up.
Yeah. And so yeah, she falls over, and he goes to her and he says goodbye, beep boop. And then we have a little later the guys from Empathic show up, and Josh gives them his fake story. And he's
really believable.
Mm-hmm. He says that she must have just been getting jealous. Like, I have this friend that it seemed like she didn't like that we were close or whatever. But thankfully, Deputy Hendricks here showed up and saved the day. And
why is Patrick in the cop uniform?
Yeah, so now Patrick is pretending to be the cop.
Right, but the tech doesn't care. He's like, listen, man, I'm not here to interrogate you. I don't give a shit. Like, whatever you're saying, sure, I'll buy it. Yeah. I'm just here to get the bot out.
Yeah, and we see the other technician, while he's talking, is trying to like pair this device with Iris, and it keeps failing. It won't connect. And so then they put her on a gurney, and they're rolling her out, and they're like, we'll take it from here. We got we'll do troubleshooting back at the office. We'll figure out what happened. We'll scroll through the footage. It'll everything will be fine. And Josh is like,
we'll listen through the tapes.
The footage? What footage? And he's like, oh, that it's liability. Like, these things record everything.
But she shot herself in the head.
And he's like, yeah, the head really, like, I know, it seems like all the important stuff would be in the head because that's how it is with humans. But really, her head is just a Wi-Fi antenna. All of her important stuff is in the chest cavity.
Right, where it's protected. Gee, that's weird, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, obviously, Josh is like, fuck. Like, they're going to get everything.
Right. And as the guys are wheeling out Iris, one's like, hey, man, did you buy that story at all? And the main technician's like, no, this dude's totally fucked. Like, he absolutely jailbroke this thing. Mm-hmm. He's going to get sued. Like, he's done.
Yeah. But as they're, like, starting to drive off, they see, the Patrick in the police uniform way down at the end of the driveway.
Like, I knew that guy. He's one of our units.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Patrick just starts shooting at the van. And
kills the main tech.
Yeah, kills the main tech. The other one gets away. And as he's running, he ends up stumbling across the dead bodies of Eli and Sergei.
Now, did you notice what was special about these bodies in this? And Kat's in there too. She's actually the one that Teddy lands on.
They're like mangled more than they should be.
He smashed their faces in.
Okay.
So that, they couldn't be recognized if their bodies were found.
Gotcha, yeah.
So he really thought about this one, I guess. Mm-hmm. Except for he didn't remove the teeth, which dental records.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they had hooked Iris up to some equipment in the van. She wakes up.
Yeah, her reboot's complete.
Yeah, so we have Patrick catches up to Teddy and is going to shoot him, but he's out of bullets. So he starts trying to strangle him, but then Iris appears, and she has a stun gun that she found in the van.
Right, but she can't seem to get it to work, or at least she can't get it to hit him.
Mm-hmm.
And he realizes what's up. He's like, oh yeah, you've been reset. Your safety protocols are back.
Yeah, so you can't hurt me. And Iris is like, Patrick, Josh is using you. He doesn't really love you. And he's like, of course he does. We're in love. And she's like, no, Eli loves you.
You love Eli.
You and Eli were in love. And then we see those flashbacks.
The angry, violent. Well, she talks about how, angry and violent their love was, and bright and all that stuff.
Yeah. So we get like little flashbacks of the meet cute, and now it's sort of like glitching where it'll be Eli and then Josh and then Eli, and they'll just kind of like cycle back and forth.
Iris is like, I can't lie.
Yeah, it's true. And then we just see actual memories of Eli, and he takes the stun gun from Iris and
self-terminates.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Teddy, thanks Iris for saving him, and she's like, you're welcome, but I need your help now.
Right, I helped you, you helped me, buddy. This is how this works, right?
Yeah.
So now Josh is packing up.
Yeah, so Josh is back in the house, throwing all the money into a bag, and he hears
I'm just
somebody
going to say, packing up the money, not a good idea in this group. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, so he hears like a door in the next room, and he's like, Patrick, is everything okay? And he hears Patrick's voice reply, yeah, everything's good. It's all done. And then suddenly, like...
he's like, bring in Iris so we can destroy her hard drive.
Mm-hmm. And then suddenly there's just like music playing in the next room, and he's like, Patrick, what the fuck? So he like walks into the next room, the record player's going, the same one they had the dance party with earlier. And then he hears Iris's voice talking to him.
Well, no, he hears a bunch of other people's. He hears Eli's, he hears Kat's, he hears Sergei's voice. Like, she's going through all the voices of all the people that have died because of this. Yeah. She's taunting him.
And the last voice that he hears is his own voice.
Right.
And she's like...
I feel really bad about almost killing you earlier.
And she's like, yeah, the Teddy, the technician, he gave me complete control over myself. I'm fully free now. And she's like, and you can't take control again because I don't have Wi-Fi thanks to a bullet that went through my head.
It's really wild. And this is when she says, I feel terrible about almost killing you. He's like, do you? And she's like, no, that was a lie, but it felt amazing. I see the appeal.
Yeah. And she's holding the gun, and he's like, that the gun's empty. It's all been fired. And she just fires into the wall.
We got a new clip, baby.
Yeah, I found the ammo. I refilled it. And he's like, yeah, but you're not going to kill me, though. And she's like, I have no regulations out. I can kill you. And he's like, I know you can, but you're not going to. You still love me.
You love me too much. And he starts throwing her around as that song starts playing again.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and this is, he gets, he's been pretty villainous for a while, but he like goes fully like past incel to like villain mode, where he's like, I don't need a phone to control you. I'm a part of you. I'm everything to you.
I'm in your head.
Yeah, he's like slamming her head against the floor and everything. And he says, say that I'm everything to you. Say it. I don't care if it's a lie. Say it.
Right.
And
she says, you are everything to me. And he's like, thank you. That's awesome.
That's so nice to hear.
Right. And I'll cherish those good times always.
Yeah. So he pulls the gun out and he holds it to her head, and he's like, I'm not going to make that same mistake again.
Right.
So he aims it at her chest. And he's like, do you have any last words to say before I end you? And she's
what
like... What
last words these are?
Mm-hmm. She says...
Josh, go to sleep. And she takes the corkscrew and we get to see the whole thing. We get to see the whole thing working and churning.
Yeah, and we get that electrical sound, and he's looking like shocked and everything.
You know what that reminded me of? Have you seen the Junji Ito Uzumaki panel with the girl who has the scar on her head, but it like starts spiraling out? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this I really liked the way that they like the wine opener. We've seen it several times. You can't miss it. But
Chekhov's wine opener.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's very much Chekhov's wine opener.
I guess Sergei's wine opener. Sorry.
Yeah, they make sure that you knew it was there, but it doesn't feel like you're getting beaten over the head with it. So that like when it happens, I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's great. I wasn't expecting that, but it's really nice.
It calls it back, but it is subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah. So of course he falls over dead from that. And then we have the exact same voiceover from the beginning of the movie, that we're all walking through life in a cloud. We don't have those special moments, but when we do, they're really impactful. And that, she was lucky enough to get 2 when she met Josh.
She looks at her melted, and the day she killed him.
Yeah.
So she peels off her melted hand. So she goes full Terminator 2 arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, has this great robot arm. She gets dressed. She packs up all the bags of money.
She's the only one who doesn't die after doing that.
Mm-hmm. And she gets into Sergei's car, which is like a vintage Mustang. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking badass. Mm-hmm. And as she drives off, she throws away the phone.
Yep. And yeah, so she's driving off. We get the credits playing.
With the song again.
Yeah, and then we get like the credits start, but then we keep seeing little intercut bits of her driving, and then we get this one last little shot where like she pulls up at a stoplight and in the car next to her.
No, she's still driving. And the other couple next to her is like, the girl looks at her.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's an older guy and a really young, attractive woman. It would be pretty easy to assume that this is probably also a companion bot, because the guy's just talking and she's just like nodding. And, you know, so the girl looks over at Iris, and Iris waves at her with her robot hand.
And she's like, oh!
Yeah, the girl's a little surprised. Iris smiles and drives off, and that's the end.
Man, she started an argument without even trying. Look at her go. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so, I mean, Companion is solid. It's saying a lot, and I like the way it's saying it for sure. I feel like you can actually have a conversation. Just the fact that people use each other like robots and dispose of each other like they're, like, garbage.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is, like, subservience on the surface, if you're like, yeah, you know, it's a sex bot that eventually, like, has complicated feelings about its owner and goes on a killing spree or whatever. Yeah, it sounds like these two movies are the same, but I think they have very different things to say. I think subservience is very much about, like, we shouldn't trust AI. Like, we're setting ourselves up for something dangerous in the future.
I'm not against that message, but also maybe we should also treat humans better.
Yeah, and I think that's the message here is that, like, if we get to this place where this kind of thing exists, it deserves, you know, like Iris as a robot deserves some amount of respect and autonomy, and you know, even more so, you know, the people in your life, like, you know, everybody in this movie except for
she even at the beginning of the movie, she's told him, thank the car for driving us here. Like it's a person and it's doing a job. I mean, if it is something that you can define as an artificially intelligent, that's a person effectively. It has intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that this movie is a lot more empathetic. Like, I think the subservience is kind of a cautionary tale. It's trying to warn you. It's trying to scare you. But yeah, this one I think is more trying to encourage people to be kinder and you know, find real love and hold on to it, and, you know, respect your partner. You know, I mean, like, I unfortunately Eli and Patrick don't come out great at the end of this, but, like, I think the movie wants you to see their relationship as the only, like, ideal relationship in the film.
Well, I mean, effectively it kind of was, right? Because Kat and Sergei are just using each other for different things. Josh is just using Iris for her body, effectively. Iris is getting used, and there's an exchange between Patrick and Eli. So,
absolutely, yeah.
Even though theirs is also kind of based on a lie, but also it's one that Patrick kind of sussed out pretty quick and pretty early.
And I mean, I think, you know, it's probably indicative that, like, if Iris doesn't know this and Patrick figured it out, I bet Eli had Patrick's intelligence up quite a bit higher than Iris.
So he obviously respects the intelligence of his partner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're probably right. And that's, of course, why Josh immediately takes the dude and he's like, all right, we're going to crank that int down, but we're going to crank the aggression up, baby. Literal toxic masculinity for you.
Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, obviously we loved it. There's not much else to be said about it. It's a good movie. Go see it if you haven't already. And if you haven't already, why are you listening to us? I'm judging you now.
Yeah. This one, I mean, if you're somebody that doesn't care about spoilers and you have listened to us tell every one of these twists and haven't seen it, you should still see it. Like, again, you know, I think, you know, a lot of people, when you think of twists, you think of M. Night Shyamalan, you think of these movies that, like, everything hinges so much on the twist that if you know it, it's kind of hard to watch the movie otherwise. Like, but this is not that. Like, these twists, they build, they're part of the story, and they all feel earned. They all feel like nothing's like, oh shit, I never expected that. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense because of this.
They were telling us the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, and so it feels like a cohesive story that's taking you to some interesting places. And whether you know where the end, like where the destination is, you're still going to have a good journey.
Right. And initially, I will say that I think, I can't say it's done everything completely correct and right, But like the advertising was amazing because once I saw the preview for this, I was like, oh, this sounds like a deranged love story. I'm in. And it is, but not the way I was thinking where they're both serial killers.
Yeah.
You know? So good on the ad execs or whatever on this one for not telling us everything up front. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I do know, like, the writer-director of this is not somebody that I know. I think this is, like, maybe his first feature, but one of the producers is Zach Krager, who is the one who just made Barbarian a year or two ago. So, like, I think he definitely has, like, an idea of how to sell a movie. So, like, him producing that makes sense. Like, because Barbarian was the same way, where it was like, I feel like I know where this is going, and then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's going all kinds of places I wasn't expecting. But
even going in, I don't know. Can I say it? Maybe beep it. I don't know. That Bill Skarsgård. It's like, oh, is Bill Skarsgård the bad guy or not? We'll find out.
Yeah. So this is definitely worth your time, whether you've listened to this episode, or not. Like, you're gonna have a good time, even if you know where it's going.
Absolutely, yeah. We've had a good few years as far as horror is concerned, haven't we? Like 24, 25 seems like it's going to be a banger year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just more and more interesting stuff coming out, and it's like, I think we had that moment where, like, there's a lot of elevated horror happening, and I mean, in scare quotes, of course, but like, I think that kind of opened the door. Like, I like a lot of those movies, but there was also a moment where I was like, oh no, is horror just going to become like this, like, trying too hard academic thing and like lose the fun? And no, that didn't end up happening. We ended up in, like, it just kind of broke down walls where it's like, you can do so much cool stuff with horror. So you can have something smart and weird and funny and that'll go unexpected places. And like The Substance win a couple Oscars. Yeah, I mean, didn't win the big ones, but it won a few. Yeah, The Substance is a prime example. Of Barbarian, again, is another great example of
anything Jordan Peele does.
Yeah, of course. So there's so many creators, because I think it was, we had that moment where it was like the A24 movies, which are great, Hereditary, The Witch, all those are great. But if that was all that was going to happen with horror for a while, it would probably start to stagnate. But no, we're getting, Robert Eggers just did Nosferatu, which was weirder. It was not following the same path that all his previous movies had, but it still had that prestige. Didn't follow
the Nosferatu path, really.
Yeah.
Everyone's
so it is a good time to be a horror fan for sure.
Yeah. So Anthony, we've seen a bit of the future of horror, so maybe next week we can go into the past with Terror is a Man. Yeah. So this is one that I've been really, really like. I bought there's a series of these movies, the Blood Island series, that it's up for debate how many movies are in this series. I bought them right before we started the podcast, and I saw that they were like sort of vaguely Dr. Moreau, Frankenstein-y, and so I have been sitting on these movies for years. Like I have the DVDs and I've not watched them, and I'm so excited. And in the time that I've been waiting to put this on the schedule, they're getting a new box set reissue coming out in like a couple weeks. So like, if you don't already own these, you may want to check Severin. I think they're putting out like a really cool box set of them. So it seemed like, well, since they're doing that, maybe it's finally time to pull out the versions I already own and finally sit down and watch them. So let's get weird with it.
Yeah, so we'll start with Terror is a Man, the first of the Blood Island series, and then obviously we're gonna explore all of Blood Island, everything it has to offer over the next couple of weeks.
Every rock and bit of sand on Blood Island. Yeah. Fair enough. All right, Anthony, where can they find us?
So you can find us on all the socials at The Frankencast. You can email us at thefrankencast@gmail.com. We're also over on YouTube. And, of course, you can find us at patreon.com/thefrankencast, where you're getting a second episode every week over there of us watching various
wacky
shows and reading books and finding all kinds of strange odds and ends. So, yeah, we'd love to have you over there if you want to see some more off-the-beaten-path stuff from us.
Do you like Creature Commandos? it's over there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, we're in the middle of that, having a great time with that. So, yeah, we'd love to have you there.
Absolutely. Anything else we got to say, my friend?
I think that's it.
Well, thank you once again, and to be continued.
Looks like you survived another episode. The Franken Cast is a production of FCR Media. It's hosted by Anthony Bowman and Eric Velasquez. Follow us on Twitter at The Frankencast, or send us a letter at thefrankencast@gmail.com. Our cover art is by Amanda Keller. You can find her at Keller Illustrations on Instagram. Our theme music is by Vivek Abhishek. Thanks for listening.